Hi guys, how are you? Welcome back to the channel. My name is George, and in today's video we'll be talking about the legend that is the Orient Bambino. Yes, the watch that has been covered by so many people on YouTube. It's been reviewed to death, but personally I just thought it would be a great idea just to follow up with another Orient video after my previous video in which I talk about the Orient Kamasu. In case you've missed that, put a link into the corner of the screen for you guys to go check that out. Personally, I just think that the Orient Bambino is a great choice if you're starting your watch collecting journey, you're on a budget, but it's also a great choice for you to get to know what you like and to shape up your taste in this mad journey that we call watch collecting. Now let's get into it. The Bambino is available in a few different dial options. They're all more on the dressier side, but personally, I think that the second generation version 3 would be the one to go for. I personally think that design is not as dressy, it's a bit more minimalistic, therefore it can be used in a more casual environment. Today we'll be taking a look at the grey dial, and while filming this I realized that I own this watch for almost 2 years now. The thing is that in the last 2 years I kept buying and selling watches left and right, but I've never sold a Bambino. The dimensions are almost ideal, which is one of the reasons why it's so popular. Case diameter of 40.5, lug to lug of 46.5, which is nice and compact so it suits even smaller wrists perfectly. Thickness of 11.5. Now this is something impressive for the price when you take in consideration the fact that probably 30% of the thickness is taken by that domed mineral crystal. And the lug width is 21 millimeters. Now this is why I said that the dimensions are almost ideal. Not particularly bothered about this since you can find 21 millimeter straps on AliExpress, but as a consequence of this I only had this on one other strap since I bought it, so this is just something to take in consideration. Overall, the watch wears pretty slim, as you'd expect. I think this should be the sweet spot for a lot of wrist sizes considering the style, but if this is too small for you, there's also a 42mm version, which is the version 4. You wouldn't expect much in terms of finishing considering the price, and if that's the case, you'd be wrong, because it's actually done well. The sides of the case and the lugs are brushed and pretty much everything else is polished. Because the watch has such a slim profile, I think that the brushed sides were a good choice because personally, I think it makes it a bit more flexible in terms of wearability. At 3 o'clock you have the crown, which is just push-pull, signed with the Orient logo, and the thing that I want to point out here is that the crown is not particularly big, but again, because of the slim profile of the watch, it's super easy to grip and incredibly comfortable to operate, and it fits really well in the overall design. Turning the watch around, you have the screw down case back with the Orient logo engraved in the center. I've expressed in my previous Orient video my feelings about the logo on the case back, but I want to address a different thing here. The fact that it has a screw down case back, but only a very basic water resistance rating, which is fine given the style, but it's just something to note. I want to talk about what I think is the main reason why you will buy this watch, and that is that beautiful dial, obviously. So simple, yet so tastefully done, and I know I'm contradicting myself here a bit when I say that this vintage simplicity will never go out of style. Applied batons at the 3, 6, 9 and 12 and printed everywhere else. This sunburst grey is by far my favorite color out of the bunch. There's no air coating or loom or any of that. And to be completely honest, depending on how the light hits it, it's not the most legible either. But I really don't care about that, because most of the time I wear this, I look at it quite often, and I look at it not only to tell the time, but because it's just too damn nice to look at. Full stop. The only downside, if you consider it a downside, is the inevitability of scratching that beautiful piece of domed mineral crystal. Honestly, that's a risk I'm willing to take because it just looks too damn good. Moving on to the movement, no pun intended. Powering this, you have the in-house Orient caliber F6724. This is found primarily in the Bambino line. It hacks and winds 22 joules, 21,600 beats per hour, and around 40 hours of power reserve. For around $100, that's a pretty decent movement. Usually Seiko at this price gets you a very basic 7S26, but considering the fact that you get an in-house movement and it's also thin enough to give that watch that really slim profile, you should be pretty happy with it. The last point that we'll cover here is the strap, because this is where it drops points. This comes with a slightly below average genuine leather strap, which frankly, without being too harsh, it'll just about do. My biggest grief here is not the actual strap, is the lug width, like we said, because this has 21mm lugs, which can be a problem because if you're a watch collector, you're bound to have loads of straps that you'll want to put this on, but I highly doubt that you'll have that many in that 21mm lug width. Luckily, like I said, AliExpress is filled with options. I've linked a few that I think might suit the watch down below. Personally, I think it'll look great on a brown vintage or distressed leather strap, but feel free to have a look for yourself and just decide what suits it best. To sum it up, guys, at the end of the day, I don't think that anyone that's thinking of buying this has a hard time deciding, because personally, I don't think you can compare this with anything else out there in the price range. This is like nothing else out there for around $100. Even with the market being flooded with so many micro brands, this will be the Orient Bambino. You take this for what it is, and I think that is going to be a long time until another watch like this will be released that will have the same impact. So that was it, guys. That was my take on the Orient Bambino. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very, very much for watching. Let me know in the comment section below what you'd like to see next, or if you had an Orient Bambino, or if you'd like to get one. Make sure you click a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't so, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.